We all know that there are some massive issues with the world economy today, particularly the Western economies. And they're dragged down by debt, aging demographics, broken political system, broken geopolitics, and a very complicated world. Can markets go lower? Possibly. But we're in the zone where we should be utterly focused. My view is the bottom is in markets, but I can be wrong. But the point being is this is the time, the generational opportunity to buy into all of these themes. And I'll run you through some of that.
Now that a stock market crash is luring, which assets are interesting to invest in? Macroeconomic investor Raoul Pal reveals his basket of stocks. This is the Cash Cow Guru. We won't waste your time, so let's get started. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe so you won't miss our newest uploads.
Let's say stocks fall another 20% from here. If I'm right with a secular trend, your downside is 20%, your upside is 10x over the next 5-10 years, maybe less, depending how fast this stuff happens. So the point being is in risk return, people are too short-term at a time horizon. Oh my God, the market might collapse. You should be thinking, this is amazing. It's come back down to the secular trend. I can start accumulating here, and this will unfuck my future because this will outperform the Fed balance sheet, and it will generate me wealth. And if my job is getting disrupted, my life's getting disrupted, I will have made gains from doing it. That is how it works for you. What's in my basket? Again, this is not a perfect basket. It's the best I could do initially. I've had to learn a lot of stuff here. I didn't know any of this stuff. I was a macro guy, and I thought technology was evil, it was overvalued, it was bullshit, and then I realized I was completely wrong. And in fact, it was the only way in the equity market to outperform the balance sheet. So what I've got in the basket is Apple, which is VR wearables, and I equally weighted it as well, just to not have this big market cap weights of these giant companies. Apple's about to come with breakthroughs in VR, AR, wearables, Internet of Things, AI. ARK, people hate ARK. Yeah, great. I love it now. It was down 80%. Why would you not love it? Even if she's half right, she can make a lot of money here, and I believe in her thesis. Is she the best stock picker in the world? Well, time will tell. Maybe not. Maybe she is. But directionally, she's absolutely right. And her thesis is absolutely right. Whether you believe her thesis on individual stocks or whatever, but overall, she's trying to buy the growth end of technology and says that we are in somewhat of an exponential age. Get it? BBH, that's the biotech ETF. Biotech, I don't even know how to approach that space. There's so much going on. I don't really know. Just buy a ETF with a bunch of stocks in it. That kind of makes sense. It's the Van Eck one. Coinbase got super killed. I think it's very cheap. I think with the FTX blow up and Binance, it has a good chance of actually being a very large part of the future here. And it's very discounted. And I want an equity that has the digital asset trend in it. I've already got that bet on anyway. And, a big part of this is I have the digital asset bet. We'll come on to that in a sec. Esports is kind of like metaverse. So there is an esports ETF, so I've chucked that in it. Google, robotics, AI, fully self-driving cars, biotech, wearables, Internet of Things. I mean, they've got everything in Google X, and it's completely undervalued by the market. So I want some of that because any of these breakthroughs, Google are going to be a part of this. Meta, very hated stock. Love it when it gets this sold off. I didn't hold it all the way down. I started buying this exponential age basket in kind of April, May, and then added recently as well, because the idea is a long-term bet and I don't mind a bit of volatility in it because I'm trying to capture the much larger upside. When stuff like Meta's down so far, it's either going to fail in its pivot or the market has wildly mispriced it. Its pivot is metaverse, AR, VR, and also digital assets, the integration of NFTs into Instagram, super interesting. They get the whole story. Microsoft, clearly, they're just buying OpenAI. They have already AI. They got massive amounts of data processing with Azure and all sorts of other stuff. Really interesting. And it's dressed up as a boring company. Galaxy, I just like owning gatekeepers and tolls, and Coinbase is a toll for retail and institutions, and Galaxy is the more institutional toll into the crypto world. usually makes sense. Reliance Industries. You've heard me talk about this before. This is the Indian giant, the people that paid off, that basically took over the entire Indian telco market by underpricing data, took the entire market, ran up massive debts, and then paid off all of the debt in the fastest ever period of time by raising money from sovereign wealth funds, Facebook, everybody else. And they're basically building out the entire infrastructure of this exponential age, from a green energy grid to oil refining to 5G, probably 6G, and then the applications layer of internet businesses, everything they are building within India. And India is an incredibly fast-growing economy. So you've got technology, the fastest growing economy in the world, with a young population, all wrapped up in this one stock. Why would you not? Robotics, another ETF out there, broad base of robotics companies. Are they the right ones? I don't know. Let's get direction in the right place. Semis, you've heard me talk about semis. Scottish Mortgage Trust, because they're bloody good at this. They've been doing it for a long time. That's the growth end of technology. And Tesla. Tesla is a bunch of these things, from Internet of Things to fully self-driving to robotics. There's a lot there in Tesla. I buy into the long-term thesis that this is a much, much bigger company than people understand. I don't care. I understand that people have a different view. It's part of my basket. It's not my whole bet. And you might take umbrage. I don't like ARK, or Tesla's a bunch of rubbish, or whatever you may be. But directionally, this basket gets it right. You can choose your own basket. Again, I'm not saying I have any source of truth. I just want to get directionally right, because I can't find an argument to say this is not going to work over time.
We hope you enjoyed this video. This was the Cash Cow Guru. Stay blessed all.